As of 2025, Progressive Insurance no longer uses its years-long 3-section assessment and instead switched to a new 4-section one. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the assessment, all its 4 sections, show you some sample questions and tailored tips, and also talk a little bit about preparation if that is something that interests you. Please note that everything I say is only relevant to you if you're applying for service-oriented positions with Progressive, especially claims adjusters and claims adjuster trainees. It is irrelevant to you if you're applying for corporate jobs. The Progressive Pre-Employment Assessment contains 4 sections, which we'll cover in a minute. There's no overall time limit for the test, but 2 of the 4 sections have their own time limit. Overall, the test contains around 170 questions, and you should expect to complete it in 30 to 40 minutes. The 4 sections of the Progressive Assessment are Personality Questionnaire, Situational Judgment Test, Logical Reasoning, and Computer Proficiency Test. Let's go over them one by one, including samples and tailored tips. The Personality Questionnaire is the first and likely most important section of the entire assessment. This is likely where most candidates get disqualified. You'll face a barrage of 100 questions about your character and behavior. There is no set time limit for this section. If you've taken the previous version of the Progressive Personality Test, you've seen the highly annoying single statement agree-disagree format. But the new version introduces 2 opposite statements and a 6-point scale. The most common mistake people make when approaching the personality test is that they treat it as we've been taught to treat tests all our lives, as if every question has a single correct answer. Instead, think of every question as representing a trait. Every choice you make will allocate points to that trait. Let's look at an example. This question measures the trait known as need for change, which describes the preference and ability to cope with changing settings and demands. Need for change is one of the 9 traits measured in the Personality Questionnaire and are essential for service-oriented roles. Choosing an answer closer to the right is going to allocate a high number of points to this trait, while an answer closer to the left will allocate a lower number of points. Now, some inexperienced candidates may try to game the system by going in 2 very different directions, both very wrong. The first is always choosing the extremes on the statements they think Progressive wants to see. This is going to result in an unrealistic, unbalanced profile that is likely going to get you disqualified. On the other hand, some candidates will try sticking with the middle, picking mostly answers 3 and 4. That's actually even worse. It's going to result in a profile that is mostly weak and bland, making it hard for the system to compare you with other candidates. Again, it's very likely to get you disqualified. In my preparation for the Progressive Assessment, you'll find a color-based overview of all 9 traits evaluated in the assessment so you can get well practiced with recognizing the relevant trait for every question and know the required score. The second section of the assessment is the Situational Judgment Test. Here you will have 14 questions, no time limit. Each question presents a short work-related scenario with 3 possible responses. You need to choose the best and worst responses for each scenario. The scenarios are going to try and evaluate your behavior at work based on 3 main criteria: problem-solving abilities, balancing professionalism and empathy, and interpersonal relationships. Some of the questions are very intuitive, and you're going to get them right if you have a shred of common sense, but others aren't. Here's an example. Now, you may have correctly spotted that answer B is the least recommended response. Giving the customer a wrong answer is worse than giving no answer at all. You may have good intentions, but this kind of response is unprofessional and does not move towards resolving the customer's problem. Answer A may seem like the best option for quite a few candidates, but this is a mistake. Here, too, you move only very little towards solving the problem by passing the judgment to your supervisor instead of tackling the problem yourself. As a rule of thumb, in situational judgment tests, escalating the issue is nearly never the best answer. Answer C is the best option. It balances professionalism and empathy while offering a solution for the customer. The customer may need to wait a little longer, but they will get a correct answer without needing to go ahead and contact a different department themselves. Now, there are several things to consider when approaching situational judgment questions on the progressive assessment. But if there's only one tip I could offer you, it would be this. Whenever you're evaluating a response, ask yourself this: did I move toward providing a solution to the conflict presented in the scenario? You may not always be able to resolve the entire conflict on your own, but the best responses always make at least one step in that direction. The third section of the assessment is, hands down, the hardest one. Not the most important, but the hardest. Each question in this section presents 5 figures. 4 of the figures share a common feature, and you need to choose the one which does not. The questions are going to get harder as you progress. There are 30 such questions with 7 minutes to solve them, although you're not expected to solve them all. While this section is indeed the hardest, you shouldn't stress too much about it for 2 reasons. Firstly, it is less important than the previous 2 sections in determining your overall score. Cognitive ability is an important trait, but as a customer service employee, your personality and behavior are far more important for your success on the job, and Progressive knows it, so relax. Secondly, if you learn and apply a couple of basic rules and principles to these questions and combine it with a little practice, these strange shapes are going to make a whole lot more sense to you. Again, let's look at an example. In this question, the layout of the black squares is merely a distraction. What truly matters here is their number. In shapes 1, 2, 4, and 5, there are 7 black squares total, while in shape 3, there are 8. The logical reasoning section tends to use such common tropes and tricks, which I cover in my progressive prep. So check out the link in the description if you're interested. The last section of the assessment is the computer proficiency test. I'm not going to talk too much about it because if you're watching this video on YouTube, you're probably going to pass it. It deals with very basic computer stuff like operating a web browser, keyboard shortcuts, basic Windows settings, and emails. You'll have 22 questions and 30 seconds to answer each. That's the assessment in a nutshell. For more information, sample questions, tips, and a tailored prep, check out the link in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed and learned. Good luck, and see you next time.